Hello and welcome to another episode of The Captain's Table, your space bar, or well, I don't have a tagline for The Captain's Table yet. The Captain's Table is a Star
Really?
Citizen podcast. No, Captain's Table is a Star Citizen podcast where we talk about Star Citizen news, lore, and more. We've been going on for almost a decade now. We're on season 9, if every year's a season. We've got this is the first episode that's being broadcast on Twitch and the Captain's Table YouTube. So if you are watching this now and in the future, all of the Captain's Table content on YouTube will be on the Captain's Table podcast YouTube. I would heavily suggest please subscribe if you're interested in this content because we are at around 650 subscribers, and if we reach 1,000 subscribers, then we can apply for partnership on YouTube, which makes it a lot easier for people to catch these because YouTube will start promoting them more and all sorts of wonderful things. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And if you're watching us live on Twitch, hit that follow button. It's always good to have us. We do this on Saturdays, every Saturday. Well, not every Saturday, but Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'd love to have you come on and join us live. With that being said, let me introduce the cast, then we'll introduce the topic. I'll start with Mr. Axis. Axis0096, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
All right. My name is X07. My name is Axis0096. Almost said 0097. I can't believe I did that. But you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and Kick with various handles. I would prefer you use Twitch to find me. It'll be lowercase Axis0096. But you can also find links to my other channels there. So it's easier to do it there. And what I do is primarily Star Citizen, but I also dabble in Elite. In fact, I've been spending the last week or so doing the whole colonization crazy crap.
How is that?
So, it's very in depth. I'll put it this way. It's much more thoroughly thought out than I thought it would be.
Awesome.
It has multiple stages, required commodities, things that you need for even just one thing to be built, like outposts and orbitals, things like that, primary starports. You can build your space station, your star system out in phases. So it's very much like what we're hoping Star Citizen has for base building, to a degree, but it's even more exorbitant. We technically become what's called the system architect.
Okay. Oh, I'll have to take a look at it. I know it's been looking pretty good. I know it's kind of in beta right now, which means it's still going to transfer over when it goes out of beta, but it's just sort of they're there to make sure everything functions and nothing goes crazy. So
I think that's what they're trying to insinuate.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a limit from the host system that's providing your contract for the system colonization of 15 light years. Though a lot of players have been griping that it's too narrow because it makes everything too small. Mm-hmm. But remember, it's just small because it's beta. It might get expanded to 30 or 40 light years, which I hope it does.
We'll
see.
Well, size doesn't matter.
Is that what she told you, my fast card?
That's what I heard from other people.
Then we've got Yo-Yo Meg. Welcome back, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo. Welcome back, Meg. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Yep. I am Yo-Yo Meg. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Yo-Yo Meg. I am a Star Citizen streamer and content creator for a variety of other games, but mostly focusing on Star Citizen because that's where my passion is at the moment. And for the past few years, I mostly do everything, but right now I'm focusing a lot on contested zones because that's been a lot of fun.
Have you done contested zones in 402?
I have, yeah. Yesterday, we sped ran through to get all 7 hangar keys, and we got a Corsair yesterday from the exact hangar, so it was a good day.
Dang, so you've been enjoying it, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
Fast cart. Mr.
hoping
Mr.
for
Black
Meg to-
Jurassic. The
Yeah, that hoping Meg would say something about Soul Citizen, but she totally forgot.
well, Meg's part of Soul Citizens, right, Meg?
Yes, I am.
So Fastcard, now
Thank
it's up to
you.
you to do the big announcement about what's going on with Soul Citizens, or if you want to. I don't know if you can talk about it yet.
Sure, but let me get this out of the way first.
Okay.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Fastcard FC. Sorry for the late start. We are on Star Citizen People's Time. I derailed the show even before we got started. Black History Month is over, and I'm making my annual appearance on the show. I'm still waiting on my 4x4 land claim in Drake Mule. My portion of reparations should be showing up in my hangar any day now. I am co-producer of Soul Citizens, and we're celebrating our 5th anniversary tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. We'll be on Twitch and YouTube, so tune in. Most of the team should be on, and we'll be showing highlights from the last year. And Paul, thank you for making me bottom. I appreciate it. And yes, we do have a couple of announcements. Well, I'm not sure you put me on the spot because I wasn't sure we're going to do it now or later, but I guess now we can do it.
I meant more
Go ahead.
the big one you were talking about with the anniversary stream, right? For
the
Soul
anniversary
Citizen?
stream, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so that's tomorrow, yeah. 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
I will make the big announcement because this is the first. Well, I guess I'm the first person to publicly talk about this. I don't know if we've talked about it publicly yet. So,
No.
I am going to.
So we just got to go ahead today.
Yes. I'm going to make sure I have the name exactly right because I always screw up the actual name of the event. But over the last couple of months, since last year, actually, the end of last year, several members of the community have been getting together, myself included, to discuss what we could do to create, how could we encourage or create a fan event for Star Citizen in the United States. We've had some in the past here and there, but we've really not had anything like BCon or I forgot, where is it in China? Was it Xinjiao?
Shanghai one.
Is it Shanghai? Is it?
I can't remember. It had a name, but I can't remember.
They have their own big event there. Like there's really no U.S. based version of that. And so thanks to the main person who's been coordinating this effort, Griffin Gaming, we have a new event, and we've been working with CIG closely to ensure that they will participate and help out as much as possible, but it's really designed for fans to come together and talk Star Citizen. Inspired by Eve Vegas, it is called Quantum Vegas, and it will take place
2955.
2955, yes. Quantum Vegas 2955. And I'm trying to remember the dates.
July 12th.
July 12th? Okay. So it's July 12th, which is a Saturday. And it will be, we'll be having an event, a Bar Citizen event the night before. And we'll have sort of a brunch the day after. But it's going to be an event held with fans can come together. CIG will participate. We're going to have different events like creating your own mission, like kind of a sort of a game jam / 24-hour film or 48-hour film festival where we encourage players to sign up to try to come up with their own mission design, and pitch it to a panel, including myself and then the CIG members as well, I believe, are going to be part of it. So
We hope.
We hope.
That's the only, that's the essential.
Yes.
By the way, since I've already interrupted, Griffin sent you a teaser. You want you to check in Discord.
Sure. I'm going to pull it up here. Let's see if I can send it to me personally. Yes, you did. Yeah. Oh. And Griffin wanted me to remind you, this isn't Soul Citizens convention.
No.
This is everyone's convention.
No.
Like Griffin was just a point man. There are lots of people. We have people like Director Gunner who's involved. We've got Captain Serious Fun or Serious Fun, myself.
Graham.
Yeah, Star Citizen. Yes, Grim from. Why am I blanking? Star Jump. Yeah. So like there's lots of people involved. This isn't just Soul Citizens. I just was badgering Fastcard to talk about the Soul Citizens thing.
I think it's in Vegas, guys.
Yes, it's in Vegas. It's going to be in Las Vegas.
Nevada. Not the other one.
Let me. I'm going to do something very stupid, and see if this works.
That never happens. Nothing can go wrong.
Let me double check to make sure the studio mode. See if that works. There we go. All right, so we're going to do this. I'm going to show this real quickly, this teaser real quick, and then you should be able to, let me double check to make sure it is functioning. Yes, it is. This teaser real quick so you can take a look at it, and then we'll get to the actual kind of event for today. But yeah, check this out.
Quantum Vegas 2955 is a community celebration of the Star Citizen universe, uniquely designed to immerse attendees in the creative and technical brilliance of the game. Hosted in the unparalleled conference environment of Area 15 in Las Vegas, Nevada, this inaugural event offers direct access to developers from Cloud Imperium Games, influential community leaders, as well as other Star Citizen backers. This event offers interactive sessions with special guests covering the complexity of game development to community-driven experiences in a unique and intimate setting. Quantum Vegas 2955 is more than a convention. It's an immersive gateway into the Star Citizen legacy, an unmissable highlight on the gaming calendar. Quantum Vegas 2955, by the community, for the community.
There you go. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure because they could hear us still. So that's Quantum Vegas, July 12th. The website is still available, right? I don't know if is it
not. It's coming online soon.
Yeah.
Ticket info will come out soon also.
Yeah, there will be
But yeah,
tickets.
it's not.
Can we confirm the pricing, Griff?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yet.
There will be.
He said yes. So it'll be. Oh shoot! I'm trying to get
$75. It's $75 for the first month.
$75, $99, and $125.
Yeah. So if you get early, you can. If you come in early, you can get it for $75 for the event, and it's $99 after that, and then it's like $125 or $120 after
$125
in the last batch. So for those of you in North America or in the U.S., if you want to, Vegas is a great place to go to in general because it's got more options.
Come globally, that's fine too.
So, yeah, if you want to, yeah.
I don't know if anyone here in the comments has ever traveled to Vegas, but $75 is a steal. Going to those Star Trek conventions or any of the big conventions is really expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sure Paul can relate.
Yeah. And Area 15 is a pretty cool place to go to. It's not just like a hotel. It's this whole venue with a bunch of other different options, and you can pay for a bunch of you have a discount to go there as well if you want to go to some of their other sort of attractions that are there, sort of like a mini theme park. It's pretty cool. And when I found out it was named Area 15, I'm still seeing if I can get Griffin to change it so it's ArcCorp. Go to Quantum Vegas on ArcCorp Area 15. CIG, add that in the game. Add Area 15 as a fun gambling location. It'd be fun. Anyway, so there's that. This is the first time you probably heard about that, so you'll keep your eye on this channel and other places, and that's where it'll be. So keep looking out for Quantum Vegas. With that being said, let's get to the actual discussion for today. Today, because 4.0.2 has released officially, including the Supply or Die event. I want the general vibe initially of how it's doing right now, and then we'll get into some more details. So I'll start with you, Fastcart, since you're last to introduce yourself. Based off of what you've seen, and I know you probably want to go over the details of what was released with it. Is there anything that you see in the release? Because I know you said you haven't played it yet, right?
No, I have not.
Okay. What is the things that stand out for you in it right now?
The new launcher for one. They put out one earlier this week. Then they had to patch it for some I guess bugs. But yeah, they're not now up to launcher 2.3.1. And they had 2.30 at the beginning of the week. And yeah, I still like the new one. I know some people still have issues with the flickering, with the animation and stuff like that. CIG is still trying to get that fixed. But yeah, I'm digging the new launcher. It's getting closer to 2025 as opposed to being 2005 when it was like the old launcher. In my personal opinion, trying to figure something out. Yeah, I guess I'll start off with that. There are several ships that are on sale right now because of the launch of 2. Sorry, 4.02. uh, Nothing really stands out for me there except the cut the steel. That's always a crowd favorite, right?
Mhm.
They put that out again. Um, yeah, I guess we can stick with those two for now.
Okay. Meg, you've actually played 402. So what is your experiences in 402 so far? In terms of just like what you liked that's been added and also your general vibe and feeling about it. You're muted, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
the small UI changes that they made. I noticed it a lot when I was flying a ship around. The what's it called? Like speedometer.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing your speed in the cruise control very clearly is amazing. Just some nice small quality of life things that are actually huge. And yeah, there's still a lot of bugs, but that's just the game. Um I think like QT fuel, whenever you're refueling, it doesn't actually refuel, so you just get stuck in the middle of space. If you're not paying attention, you could lose millions of AUEC. Just depends on what you're doing. Dead bodies disappearing. F prompts being super hard to find on bodies in dire situations. Fuse doors breaking, fuses getting stuck in doors. Ammo repooling, audio bugs breaking stealth. Ships not having physicalized components still. And there are components that are locked behind contested zones or executive ships. The new event is cool though. I like it. I like that they're pushing piracy and a way to get the commodities without having to sit at the commodity terminal just waiting for stock to restock.
Mhm.
So that's really cool. But that's pretty much been it for me so far. I haven't been doing much like legitimate missions, so I'm unfamiliar with that territory at the moment with how all that's going.
Okay. Axis, your thoughts on have you played 402 yet?
Not really. I've just
What's your
I
general
guess I've been hesitant to for a while, but I might jump in here pretty soon. I but when it was in the PTU, it was really buggy and it was, you know, kind of I guess the vibe I was getting was that it's just gonna sit in the PTU for a while. And the bugs would take a while to get ironed out. So I decided, there's this patch coming up for another game. I was just going to sit it out and let the bugs be ironed out.
Mhm.
Sounds like it might be a good time to jump back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a minimal experience with it, a minimal exposure for it because I just played it today for a couple of hours. But I can already tell that it's a lot more improved. There's still obviously bugs, some weird issues happening every now and then, but like the elevators, knock on wood, you know, is there any sort of dance I need to do to like throw salt behind my eggs, like behind me, sacrifice a goat to Chris Roberts in order to make sure this thing works? But like the elevators are working.
Oh, thank God.
Like it's weird when they stop working, they'll snap back to working, and when they snap back to working, it's a surreal experience at times. But I haven't had many issues with elevators at all, or the raising and lowering of ships. So we'll see. Now with
I've had
CIG,
issues with raising and lowering of ships.
you did with 402.
Yep. I've had
Okay.
other people as well have issues.
Okay, so that's still a problem.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, Paul, one thing I have heard is that there's a great story in this new one, right?
Oh God. The fast card is referring to my own sort of issue with the last one. With the supplier die is fine from what I've seen and what it looks like. I've talked with other people who've done the supplier die event, for some of them, and they actually enjoy it. It's Jumptown. It's Jumptown with more options, and I do like the fact that the other options that they're out there are not combat oriented. They can be combat oriented, but it's just we need X, Y, or Z. Get X, Y, or Z and take it from point A to point B. Love
like that it's optional.
Yeah. It's not that you have to go out and do combat. And it does make it a little bit more dangerous, which is my favorite type of PvE, VE, or PvPvE event style, which is like you can do this completely without any violence and everyone wins. Or someone could take it from you. It's entirely up to the situation. So overall, it seems like it's okay. It seems interesting that this is the direction they're going, because one of the things, the things that really are added with 402 is the new UI changes, fixes on the back end for bugs, and the supplier die. I don't even think this is a new ship, right? We don't even have a new ship for 402, so it's just the supplier die event. And they also did extend the phase 3 of they extended Fight for Pyro through the end of the month. So Fight for Pyro is going on concurrently with supplier die. So someone's saying gestures or features. Oh, features. Okay. So yeah. So one of the things that I want to talk a little bit about with this is that this seems to be the blueprint that CIG is using going forward for how patches are going to work, where we get, a ship, some fixes, new narrative event, rinse and repeat. Axis, I'm going to ask you this question.
Yes.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because I know you have a passionate, you were saying earlier before you had a very opinion, you and your community were talking a little bit about the issues behind some of that. So do you think it's enough that CIG is going with just sort of narrative event, fixes in the back end, and maybe some slight tweaks here and there with some ships?
No, honestly, I don't think so. And normally, Paul knows this, most of the viewers know this, I'm the happy guy. I'm usually Mr. Positive. Well, too bad for you. You get grumpy Axis this time.
Okay, go.
You get the person that wants to drop an asteroid on CIG. Because focusing on bug fixes is more about keeping it level. It's neither increasing gameplay nor decreasing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just keeping it here, at a certain level. And you want new shiny things, you know what I mean? Like a crow,
mm-hmm.
to bring in new crows. In other words, new players. You always have to do things. I mean, supply and die, sure. That's good for the combative or somewhat aggressive players. But I've been talking to members of my own community who aren't really combat oriented. A lot of people were upset somewhat that engineering has been, put on the back burner for a good while, at least till 1.0. Same with numerous other industrial and other focuses. So, gotta agree with them. Focusing just on one group but overlooking the others, not a good look.
Okay. So how, like, you were mentioning something earlier about, like, it seems weird because Star Citizen is, like, CitizenCon was so focused on
Industrial.
And
they
then,
were.
And is that really where you think it's coming from? Is that, like, because CIG was so focused on industry and now it seems like they're pulling back from it? Do you think this is a pullback, or do you think this is just a
I'm wondering that. And that's
Okay.
what I'm really wondering, because for 2 years in a row, we've kind of had industrial pushed citizen cons in 2023 and 2024. And I'm going to go on a limb here and hope that they're not pushing it back, But if it's because of bug fixes, okay, I get it. trying to get things in the game, but it's not a good look to spend all that time promoting it and then, pulling the rug out from underneath people.
Okay. Meg, your thoughts on this sort of pattern of what this is? Do you think this is enough for CIG going forward to do this sort of fix narrative event, maybe some tweaks here and there, and maybe a ship droppers or not? What are your feelings on this sort of system that CIG is setting up?
Yeah, I'm probably not in the majority, but I feel like they should fix a lot of the bigger issues that are happening in the game, especially if you're going to drop something that's supposed to be working, like contested zones and stuff like that. Just more bugs. I don't if it's not working, why are we introducing it? Why are we adding more? But I don't know. I guess people are wanting more and more and it to not work well. So yeah, that's just what I think. I think if they're gonna add stuff, then it needs to work, or don't add stuff and fix the old stuff. But I'm gonna play regardless.
Okay, Fastcard, your thoughts on it so far? Well, I guess you haven't played it yet. So, but your thoughts on like this direction that CIG is going with this sort of.
I question how sustainable it is because we've previously seen how CIG starts off with a seemingly great idea, but it goes to the wayside after a while because of circumstances. The previous hangar became more buggy as time went on. The gunny tutorial became unplayable until they had to take it out of the game, for example. And the various ways that they communicate with us, like pillow talk, and that show that they had where they talk about previous patches, what went well and what didn't go well. I keep forgetting the name of that show.
The burn down or something like that.
Not the
No.
burn down. It was
Postmortem.
postmortem. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget anymore. Yeah, but they had these seemingly great ideas, and I don't know. We'll see how long this lasts, in my opinion.
Okay. I also have concerns about this direction because the problem is burnout.
Yeah.
Like events are nice, but if you're doing events every month and they're doing a new patch every month, sometimes it'd be okay to just have a patch that's just bug fixes. No new features. Because some people that's what they're about. And if someone's personally unable to play the game or has problems playing the game, they see, hey, we released a patch that's just bug fixes, people would probably be more engaged with that idea. But I understand the hesitancy because they want engagement. They want people to play the game. They want people to play it regularly. But I think they would do better getting more people if they focused entirely on that and let the narrative team develop a narrative that makes sense, that is engaging, that people enjoy. For those of you who haven't caught, I've done a couple videos now where I kind of talk about how I think at this point CIG's narrative team just failed at trying to build a narrative in the last couple of events. Not that the ideas were necessarily bad, but the execution was a failure. And one of the major reasons is because CIG hasn't established that there is a narrative in the game or that there is a narrative for these missions. And you can't go with crazy twists when you don't even know who the players are, who the characters are, or the factions are that you're supposed to play with. So that is what really makes me more concerned is if everything is going to be supply or die or fight for pyro in the near future, I can see that getting very old very quickly where people just turn on. That's what they did with other events. They would turn on the events because they were saw those events as destabilizing the game. And if people see the events as being the priority over fixes, people were just going to move away from complaining about new features or new ships and just saying, stop giving us missions that don't work and fix your fucking game. Like that's the like perception is reality. So even if the missions are doing nothing to hurt the game, people will think that you're taking resources away from the teams who should be fixing the game, and everyone should just fix the game, even if that doesn't work. And so,
To your point, uh,
go ahead.
of that, to your point, they are trying to shift people toward these missions by making the payout massive. I heard someone getting like 24 million just
Oh
for
yeah,
doing
you
one
make a lot of
mission.
money. Yeah.
And you're making a lot of money. So the CIG is bringing people towards it that way. But I don't know how sustainable that is, because people will eventually get tired of it. But hey,
Yeah. Um.
Okay. Somebody brought up what you made a video in your capsule about, Paul.
Yeah.
It looks like that smug look they had.
That is a completely different issue. That is an issue that I will say that issue is separate from this, but I think it does play into this conversation about 402 and how this whole thing moving forward plays out. None of us here have actually participated in Supply or Die, right?
I have.
You have? So, Meg,
Yep.
I'll ask you this question specifically. How is your feel about the Supply or Die event in general?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier. I think it's awesome that, like you said too, it's great that there's different ways to go about getting supplies, but it kind of sucks that I think there's only there's 4 different commodities and
Yeah.
then nutrients or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So you have, I don't know, make up a number, 50% of the community that's actively playing trying to get 2 of 4
Mhm.
commodities, and it's shared. You're probably sitting at a kiosk for several minutes, if not potentially hours, trying just to get commodities for one mission. But that could just be because they just started it. It's probably going to die off.
Yeah.
And then as well as like the drop off locations are the same. So you have people who are pirating that, but that could just push into group gameplay, having like support, some fighters, protection. It's like, yeah, that stuff's cool, but yeah, I'd like to see more variety instead of just like, here's 2 commodities, here's another 2, get
Yeah.
it done. Maybe what's it called? Like in the journal entry, there's the fluctuation of some commodities. So like, okay, it's maybe like as simple as Saturday, here's the commodities you can run. Sunday, different commodities entirely. So
Yeah.
people can't just stock up on thousands of SCU and no one else can get any.
That's a good point. I think definitely having some sort of rotating list that they just plop out. So every day or every other day it changes. So that you don't stock up, because I think that's an unintended behavior. Because that was one of the things I've been hearing a lot of people discuss, was that like you can't find copper. Copper is one of those resources you're just not finding it. It's nowhere because everyone's bulk buying copper.
If I might make a comment,
Go ahead.
Similar to how Elite's colonization uses commodities. You know how we also have commodities.
Yeah.
This event's using 4 things right now. There's also a global event going on to back up the colonization for Elite right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're requiring large amounts of multiple commodities, at least 8 different ones instead of 4. So that means multiple different parties can haul in different commodities. And, of course, it'll fluctuate. Some places will run out, some places won't. But with 8, you have a much bigger pool of resources that most other people can grab. And, maybe somebody's like, okay, this is, there's still stuff here that I can get. It's not the commodity I want, but man, I can still add it to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my argument.
I mean, and the other thing is that I think, as someone pointed out, Carlos in chat pointed out, that you can actually mine some of these. Mm-hmm. So like, and I think that was CIG's intention, was to go mine some of these. But I don't think it's ore that you can give. I think it has to be processed. So mining it and then processing it takes time, and it's cheaper and faster just to do just buy it. So I think it would be better if CIG were to do something like this in the future, were to make the things that you can mine mineable and it be incredibly low quantity, and then have something that is purchasable, like processed goods or medical supplies, that's in high quantities in one location or in a couple locations, and then delivering them to specific locations. So that way, there's one of those which CIG is basically telling the players, "Hey, dummy, mine these. You don't buy these, go mine these." So I think that'll be less friction at that point, though. Yes.
I don't know about you, but some of us at crew would be miners.
Out. No. Done.
Go.
Meg is stone-faced this entire time. Meg has been dealing with Fastcard for so long that they're just like, nope.
He's used to it.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about it. We've been talking for almost 40 minutes now. So let's kind of wrap this up. We've been kind of negative on CIG, but I want us to is this like bad? Is this a situation where CIG is doing this right now and it's like they're heading down a path where it's doom and gloom? Or is this more of a, is this will this get better as it goes along, or is this somewhere in between? What's your sort of general opinion? Fastcard, I'll start with you on this one.
My general opinion is that CIG will take this on for a while and see how it goes, and then move on to try testing something else. Whether or not it's better, well, hopefully it'll be better. They've been doing this for 13 years now. Well, you want to start from the beginning, obviously. More like 8 or 9 years. But hopefully they've picked up enough experience to. Am I still choppy? Is my audio better?
No, you're good. You're good. It's fine.
Okay. So yeah, hopefully they picked up enough experience to figure things out better this time. I mean, we don't know how long this story or narrative is supposed to take. They said it is like the foreseeable future, but we don't know how long that foreseeable future is. So and then I guess when they other stuff like the base building or whatever piece of mechanics come in, they'll move on to that. So yes, I'm expecting this to be like maybe at least 6 months. I think they said that they wanted to do it for the year, but I'm not confident that they'll go that long. That's nothing against CID. I'm just saying plan change.
Yeah. Okay. Meg, do you see this as sort of the doom and gloom? CIG is on a highway to hell, or is this gonna eventually get better, or somewhere in between?
Yeah, I unfortunately think only time will tell. I don't know. Like, they still got to make money. So like seeing the things that they're still doing, like ship sales and stuff. I mean, they still got to do their thing, but I hope we just see the stability and the fixes that they're talking about. I definitely have seen a difference from 4.0 to 4.0.2. So like, yeah, obviously, like you said, like we've been negative, but we used to not be able to even get out of the habitations.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even play the game.
Yeah.
People were locked out just like 3.18 for a very long time. There's probably still people locked out now, but it's gotten better. So yeah, hopefully we just keep seeing that. And I don't know, some people have been complaining about like the downtime and stuff like that. I don't know I know we've seen like server maintenance and stuff happening before. That's not something that's brand new, but I don't know how often it's been happening is a good sign. But yeah, hopefully I think time will tell. SitCon this year, we'll see how many fans there still are.
Yeah, that's a good point. Axis, is this doom and gloom? Will CIG is this just sort of like an early hiccup and it's going to get better over time, or somewhere in between?
I think we're still rather early in the year.
Okay.
Honestly, if you remember, a lot of people didn't start back to work until January.
Mm-hmm.
So if we combine it, barely a month of work.
You mean like end of January, right?
Since the end of January. 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks. And I think the regular server maintenance, that's going to morph into also minor bug fixes as they continue to expand the teams. More people get off of Squadron 42. Some of them will be put onto a bug team, debugging team, I hope. A lot of studios have debugging teams.
I'm sure CIG has something like that, if not attached.
I'm sure
to
they
their,
do.
Yeah.
They have to. They have to. And I could see them start doing regular maintenance and ironing out more bugs, so quality of life is generally better. You guys have seen, Fast Cart Meg, you've seen definitely a better improvement since 4.0.
Yeah.
Since they've started doing the maintenances.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to gather. See, I haven't been on as much. I was very curious about that opinion. So,
Yeah.
like I said, though, Paul, to answer your question, time will tell. We're still early. We have March, April, May. I think we're about 2.5 months from Fleet Week.
So, yeah, it's end of May. Yeah, so
May. I'm kind of curious if we're going to have a Citizen Con.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Because of the sudden change. Somebody was asking me that in chat last night. What's your opinion on Citizen Con? And I'm like, that is a really good question. Also, the progress of any other systems coming in, because as you know, on the way to road to 1.0, we have 3 other solar systems coming. Terra at the very end, system number 5, Kestra is number 4, and next up, after Pyro's finished off, is Nyx. A lot of people in chat remember their first entries into Levski, and that's kind of tied into the whole industrial thing. A lot of people want to go home to Levski.
Something I did notice is that they tested the hell out of 4.0 too in PTU this time, and it seemed like, I don't know if it went longer, but there were a heck of a lot more patches before the lead up to the release this time.
Yeah.
So I mean, they are taking this time less bug thing seriously, in my opinion.
You mean for like 402?
Yeah, 402.
Yeah, I'm generally of the opinion that I think CIG, this plan that CIG currently has laid out is a 6-month plan. It's not a year plan. It's
I said similar. Yeah.
What you were talking about is about right. It's like CIG has a plan that this is going to go through, and I think it's going to go through 4.1, the 4.1 branch, and then they'll reevaluate when they get towards the 4.2. And 4.1 could be sometime in the next 4 weeks, or it could be sometime in the next 3 months, because we don't know exactly when 4.1 is planned. It says Q1 to Q2. My guess is that 4.1 is likely to release slimmer. The button fast enough. Sorry. I think it'll release slimmer and then build as it goes on, like the stuff we see on the 4.1 marker. I think some of that they may not even come in with 4.1 directly. It may just be bug fixes and other changes, and then like the mission givers that they've talked about and the new mission story and that kind of stuff. I think that stuff may be later release in 4.1 because we don't really know what 4.1 is going to be,
right,
other than what they've talked about. But I do think that's their plan right now. And at your point, Axis, that it's still early. It's been 5 weeks, and for 5 weeks after they released Star 4.0, which was at probably about 2-3 months ago in terms of time, they've done a lot of improvements to make the game more playable. Is the game bug free? No. Will 4.1 make the game bug free? No. Will the bug that you personally hate probably still exist? Yes. It'll probably exist until 1.0 because it'll find ways of making your life more difficult. But I've seen performance improve. I've seen elevators. CIG really focused on elevators, like hardcore focused on elevators for this one, and it shows. But as Meg pointed out, elevators are still eating chips and causing weird things. So there's still problems that need to happen. But yeah. I am optimistic. I wouldn't say I'm doomer, but I am still concerned about CIG's trajectory with what they currently have, especially with the lack of features being added, and how quickly can they speed up some of these fixes, because they've been super focused on a certain number of things. Once they get done with things like server meshing problems, and now the transit system, and likely the hangars, what's their next focus? Because one of the biggest problems that I've seen talk about are the many exploits that are going on with conflict zones and with various other like locations where people can clip through the map and then cause problems, and that's not to mention CIG's own apparently glorious twist of a storyline not landing, because half the time the data pads that showed up were placeholder or just didn't spawn, or any of the information that they have just like not function, or the missions they were supposed to transmit information just didn't get in or didn't work. That sort of things that kind of doesn't bode well for the future, but we'll see. And yes, people
I'm sure they took your criticism to heart, and they'll do better next time.
I hope so. I was a little harsh on them, but only as harsh as their own like Britishisms were. I was only as smug as their own as they were in their response. And I did have some legitimate criticism of how they could improve it. And it seems like that was likely recorded from the last ISC, was likely recorded several weeks before the monthly report came out, because the monthly report, or not the monthly report, the roadmap roundup was definitely more focused on some of those issues that I and other people pointed out, which is things like mission givers, hopefully voiced mission givers, and events around like building up these events rather than just sort of dropping them and being like, here's your thing. So
one thing
I could tell that you seem happy with yourself.
Oh, I was very happy with myself. It was very. I definitely enjoyed the smell of my own farts with that video. All right, with that, we're going to wrap this discussion and move on to the question and answer. If you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you check out Axis0096 on Twitch, Yo-Yo Meg on Twitch, Fastcart on anywhere where Star Citizen exists, because that's literally where you'll find Fastcart at some point.
Mostly Soul Citizen.
Mostly Soul Citizen. But you're also on like with the People's Radio and on this. You're here sometimes,
Yeah.
And of course, if you did enjoy this, with its new location on the Captain's Table Podcast YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and hit the bell icon to be notified when it's released. This recorded section is going to be up for people to, comment down below, but the entire VOD will be available unlisted in its own playlist on the YouTube, so you can check it out if you want to just watch it straight through and not have to wait for the mandatory YouTube time of 2 or 3 days for both sections to release. But YouTube will only recommend the videos, not really the live streams, once they've been posted. So, please do comment down below your own thoughts on 402. Is this a disaster for you? Is it worse than it's ever been before? Or is it good? Have you enjoyed the supplier die event? Things that CIG could improve? Let me know down in the comments down below. And like I always say, hope to see you someday in the black.
I'll get you one over.